Hey everyone, welcome to Watchers Week, a podcast where we're going to review and discuss all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies leading up to the release of Marvel's The Avengers Infinity War coming out April 27th, 2018, less than 30 days away. It's a nerdy show for nerdy people because that's who we are and that's who we care about. My name is Steven. It's Dr. Cosmic.
What is going on, everybody? I can't wait to talk about this film. Also, I just want to thank everybody that donated to the GoFundMe after this movie came out. We got that fund money for Anthony, hashtag justice for Anthony, and he got a proper burial. So, thank you.
Thank you all. Thoughts and prayers. And tagging along as always, we've got Tim.
Hey, Baskin Robbins don't play.
Baskin Robbins do not play. Watchers, this week we're continuing our journey to infinity by talking about 2015's Ant-Man, directed by Peyton Reed. Guys, what did you think?
It was an awesome movie. I really appreciate like all the work that the whole crew brought on this. I know a lot of people were like upset that Edgar Wright kind of ended up leaving the Ant-Man project, and like that kind of like led to some hesitant kind of thoughts on it before it came out. But I still think that whatever parts he contributed as a writer to it, it pulled through and it showed.
Yeah, agreed. I think that this is probably, I guess I was fixing to say this is probably the best, duo director scenario we've had, because there's been a lot of instances where that has happened. But
oh, no doubt.
I guess it's not really that instance, though, because I don't even think Edgar Wright had directed any scenes. He had just written stuff. So, but still, it's still like the best comic book movie that has come out where it was kind of handed off to somebody else, and they kind of had to, work with somebody else's work, pretty much.
Right. It was kind of refreshing to see a single superhero origin film, because I know we kind of got an origin film with Guardians of the Galaxy, but that was kind of more still of a team up. But yeah, with Ant-Man, we got the single guy doing his, getting his powers, beating the bad guy, and saving the day and being with his family at the end. And, it's a format we haven't gotten since, one of the original trilogy between Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, those were pretty much all the origins.
And this one's still kind of a bit of a dynasty or a legacy kind of hero, because Hank Pym was the Ant-Man. I like how they mentioned that before Scott got the suit. And dude, can we talk about the crazy time machine powers that Marvel has created with this CGI? Like when I saw Michael Douglas like straight up from the past, I was like, what is going on? Like how did they, what? It was the craziest thing.
Well, the thing you have to understand is the Infinity Stones, or gems, or whatever you want to call them, they're real. And Kevin Feige has them. He has dazzled, the entire world with the Mind Gem. He has used the Time Gem to rejuvenate some of the actors that he needed. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like what they were able to accomplish with the CGI was pretty stellar, and just in the short time frame that they had, because I remember this movie getting announced like, almost immediately after Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just seemed like it wasn't that long. Like Age of Ultron came out in 2015. This movie came out in 2015, and it was just pretty crazy. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, I was when they mentioned that Scott Lang was gonna be the Ant Man, and we're gonna skip the whole Hank Pym thing. I was like, it made sense because of the whole, like you mentioned, Age of Ultron. Hank Pym, is the one who made Ultron in the comics. So the fact that they already switched that up, I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense that they were gonna skip him, and I totally thought he was gonna be an afterthought. But the fact that he was like a crucial driving element in this film, I was like, dude, this is awesome. I mean, and I guess if you were on top of it, I wasn't as on top of the casting as I was for this movie. But once you found out it was Michael Douglas, it was like, oh yeah, of course, they're going to be doing that. But to not have Hank Pym's, like, again, legacy, his origin as the Ant-Man, not be tacked on as an afterthought, it was a real refreshing and I think a great facet or aspect of this film.
Absolutely.
definitely, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either, him being such a, crucial role. And it was really nice because, for a lot of the comic book fans that wanted Hank Pym to be, Ant-Man, their Ant-Man, uh, I actually enjoyed it. Like, it was cool to see that little tiny snippet of him in the past with the suit on and everything.
Right? Like,
Um,
how can we not get more of a what if story with that? Like, I was expecting to see him like standing next to Captain America or something.
and that would have been great. And that was what I was fixing to get to is like his age. He probably, well, no, we know he wasn't there, during the
Right.
World War II era. But man, I want to get something. I want to get like a spy thriller, maybe a Nick Fury movie with
Dude.
Ant-Man.
Well, we're getting
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Captain Marvel where Nick Fury is young.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
want like a 70s like spy thriller. That would be pretty dope.
I thought they were going to kind of like incorporate, because like if you read comics, the main thing that people know about Hank Pym is that he is a little bit of
He keeps his hand strong. He keeps his hand real strong, like
yeah, exactly, yeah.
firm, strong, ready
Wait,
to
wait, wait. Who did you say?
Hank Hank Pym.
Okay, yeah. I thought you said Scott. Yeah.
no.
No, 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 yeah. Scott's cool, but I was gonna say I thought they were gonna try to like bring that in by like saying he has like some PTSD war thing going on, you know?
Well, they kind of did that when Hope, his daughter's name's Hope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hope was like, Dad, let me just wear the suit. Let me wear the suit. And he's like, I told you 1,000 times, no, you're not gonna wear the suit. And then he got like really angry. He was like, no, like that. And everybody just kind of like backed off and was like, fine, whatever, and just like left. And he kind of slumped down. And I think that kind of did show his like anger, but I think it was more anger from like losing his wife than beating his wife.
Yeah, no, most definitely. But I mean, for comic book fans like us, like we can definitely uh read into that stuff differently because I kind of took that scene the same way. Like I was like, oh, this is kind of, his repression that, but I don't think
The repression of slapping. He wants to slap people
yeah,
left
I
and right.
think I think it could be they could turn it into something else, like maybe give him the alcoholism that they never gave Tony. It could be something, more mouseified or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think he loves his wife too much. That's why he's the whole point of him trying to get her back. But I did read it in a similar way.
Which I don't understand what's going to happen in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but when the mom does come back, like how is their relationship going to work out afterwards? It's a different
Uh,
time.
yeah, sure.
I didn't expect an answer really.
You're gonna get like a Notebook scenario.
Oh, I love The Notebook. It's the first movie I tried.
Why aren't we talking about that movie?
Well, okay. I have a picture.
As soon as they confirm that it's part of the MCU, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Didn't we get that kind of with? Didn't we say we got that with Winter Soldier? Well, basically.
Oh
Nope.
yeah.
That is true because Captain America has to convince Bucky they're friends, just like
Oh, yeah, sure. That's what I meant.
just like Noah
I
has to
think-
convince his wife. I forgot her name, Rachel.
I don't know.
What? Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, yeah, totally, guys.
Anyway, let's talk about Louis.
All right.
Luis.
Luis? Oh,
Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. The that's what's up. That's what's up. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I don't know how many people you saw on the street say that to each other while you were walking past, but oh my gosh, so many people were saying that after this movie came out back in 2015. They were
And
just
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
yeah, that's what's up. He got memeified, which is, you're pretty much immortalized. You're bigger than the movie when you get memeified.
Yep, you're just floating out there on the interwebs. I was really surprised by T.I.'s performance because
Who's that?
I some of these people kind of like Tim was saying flew under the radar as far as casting came, and so I had pretty much only known about Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, uh, Evangeline Lilly, and then I think the guy that played Darren, and that was it. I didn't know Michael Pena was in it. Didn't know. Actually, I knew David. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and I don't want to butcher it. But the guy that plays Kurt, I knew he was cast, and I, of course, had stereotyped him as a villain from The Dark Knight, and so I thought he was going to be playing a villain in this one. But it was kind of refreshing to see. I mean, I guess he was sort of anti-hero.
Still a criminal.
Yeah. But yeah, T.I. was surprising.
I really liked how they kept the like these guys weren't just the comic relief or something like that. Like they kind of did have stories and like continuity within the movie. Like when Luis mentions at the very beginning how he was the only guy to knock out the dude in prison. Every time he punches somebody throughout the movie, it's like a one-hit KO. So I was like, dude, this makes like, to keep calling back to that made so much like, it added so much depth to the characters that they were slotted. So I thought that was really nice to not only have these guys be, so funny and it works, they have skills that work into the plot. Not only that, but that they, have such a variety of personality.
Yeah, they're definitely in the system.
Yeah, we in the system. The system?
Yeah. I like to go on to your point, Tim. I really like. I think humanize is the word, right? When you take a character and like make it grounded or down to earth, and make it seem like you can run into one of these characters down the street or in a grocery store. I mean that takes a lot of work. Usually we meet these characters with super high moral standards or qualities you don't find every day, but these are like everyday people that are shown in the movie, which I really appreciate. That's what it's not. I don't think I would call Ant-Man a superhero film, especially since none of them have superpowers. It's just a suit. They don't even have like genius intellect like Tony, so you can't say that either.
Well, does Thor technically kind of superpowers?
Yeah, he's an alien. Yeah.
Oh. But that's like inherent to his biology.
Yeah, he also.
And does Iron Man count as a superhero because it's just a suit?
I just said he has a genius intellect, so yes, he does.
What about Captain America? Is he kind of superhero? Because he takes a drug.
He doesn't take drugs. He is a drug.
Performance enhancing drugs.
When are we gonna?
I'm just saying.
In the
yeah. When is it gonna come to light that Captain America used steroids?
Never.
Okay.
I mean, Michael Phelps did it, and we all still love him, right?
Get out.
Never mention his name. What's it? I thought like we would get all these characters, the um, the gang of Scott's gang,
Oh, the Wombat.
Scott Lang's gang, yeah, the
I can't
Wombat.
believe. Yeah, they call. I don't know who insulted them as wombats, but someone insulted them as wombats, and like it's.
Michael Douglas, Hank Pym.
I think so, but it's like my new favorite insult to call somebody now. It's like, what a bunch of wombats, and you're like, what? What did you just say to me? Yeah, you heard me, you wombat. It's great.
I was expecting him to come out later in like the other like side MCU stuff, like Agents of Shield or something. Like I thought that would be cool.
No.
like like they get like to brought on because of their again different skills. Like what's her name? Quake was a hacker before, and now she like barely does that anymore.
Seriously, that show got a little too weird for me.
Yeah, don't even get me started on Quake.
I think they have potential there, but they just need to cross over with the Netflix series, like for real. Like they're just like time traveling now and doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Like, come on, like there's only so much you can do until you guys aren't interesting anymore.
I think after this season, they'll ground themselves a little bit and go back to New York or something and deal with it. What I'm the only word that's coming to mind is financially, but like smaller, like get back to the people of the city and stuff like that, and try to protect them, and then we'll get Netflix to say like, hey, we've been doing that. Where have you been? And they're like saving the world, get off our back. And it's going to turn out really great. The only thing they're probably waiting on is Infinity War to see what is going to happen with that and how it affects the show.
Yeah.
You know what I can't get off my mind? And I'm sort of jumping the gun here, but Anthony Mackie.
Oh, okay.
Did y'all like who saw that coming?
I don't think anybody really did. I was about to say like as soon as that where he does the fight with Falcon, it kind of really shifts gears. But I was gonna say I think even like way before that until like up to the where he like first tries on the suit in like the apartment place and he's like we get to see the actual shrinking power on screen. Like I think that's when like this whole like again like it just shifts gears and it really picks on, but then it lulls and then you get the whole Falcon fight and it's just like, oh my gosh, you're totally
Yeah, it was crazy because around this time, like I was still into my spoilers, and I never came across anything that said,
"Hi, my name's Scott."
Yeah, that Anthony Mackie would be coming in here, popping in as Sam Wilson. Like Disney and Marvel must have had that set on lock.
Yeah, they had all kinds of secrets that make spoiler watchers kind of immune or something because they think they know everything, and then a movie actually comes out and they're like, "Wow, they lied to me," but it's for my own benefit because now I appreciate the movie more. But for me, the way that Falcon came in, is it? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but is it the same suit as Civil War in the next movie? Because Ant-Man kind of ruined the suit, So I don't know if he just fixed it and still wore it, or is this like the only suit that Falcon wears in this movie?
I think
he didn't.
Oh, what were you
I was going to say he didn't have a Red Wing in this one, and in Civil War he has Red Wing, which comes out of like the little backpack thing that.
But didn't his costume though in this one have more color in it? I'm pretty sure, because in Winter Soldier it was just like pretty much black.
Bare bones.
I'm pretty sure it was red in this. It had some red parts, and then in Civil War it was really red.
Yeah, so I think this is like the only Falcon costume that gets shown briefly for a moment and then is changed, like a quick costume change for Falcon that I don't know, I guess gets underappreciated Yeah, I mean, I really like it. I really like the costume. It's a great one. But I was just thinking about that since Civil War is the next movie, and he uses it a lot. I'm wondering, I was like, is that the same one? But Tim is right with the whole Red Wing probably was added on there.
Do you guys think that? And sorry, I was just thinking about this. Do you think that this movie would have been like even, I don't know, like plussed, I guess, if Doctor Strange had come first?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Because for me, like the whole shrinking thing was
Mhm.
really cool. Like it was a whole new ballpark for Marvel and for, their characters and everything. And we were delving into the quantum realm and all of that, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
But
I thought they were
but
gonna stop there, but they introduced the microverse, which was like super cool.
yeah. And see, like I guess it was kind of smart to start here first and then do Doctor Strange. But I don't know. Like the more I think about it, I'm like, could it have been better in reverse? I don't know.
Here's
I
here's
think I think they don't kind of intersect because again, even though Doctor Strange is, they do kind of go into the side of things where they say like, oh, what we do is harness the universal energy and are able to like manipulate it and do feats with it. But in overall, layman's terms, it's magic. So that's kind of like the hurdle they had to do. Whereas Ant-Man was kind of a smaller one where it was just like people shrink in suits and it's all in
because
this Gatorade pouch.
That's
well,
true. Yeah.
I was gonna say here's the answer is that it would have been too many Infinity Stones back to back because in Guardians we got the Power Stone, in Age of Ultron we got the Mind Stone revealed. So if we did Doctor Strange, it would have been the Time Stone, and people would have been too hype already. They would be like, "Oh my gosh, 3 stones and 3 movies back to back! Infinity War's next!" And they would lose their heads, and Marvel would have to backtrack and fast forward Infinity War or something like that.
Yeah. 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 No. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
That's what's up. Like, oh my
um,
god, can you even imagine?
Also, I think they didn't really tackle the weight of having this shrinking power stuff in. Like the whole, what we want to do is we want to shrink all the powers of like the what's it? Darren Cross's plan is like I want to shrink it, and then I want to give people the shrinking suit so they can like fight in wars but tiny and also kill people but tiny. And it's like you could like just kill people right now with your like messed up gun or whatever, like even with that, or like a regular gun, like it was just like it made it seem like it was going to be make it so much better, but it was just kind of like I think people do that now, like you
Yeah.
know with no problem.
If anything, if a tank explodes in miniature form, it's just gonna stub somebody's toe. And then
Right.
what are you
Yeah,
gonna then what are you gonna do?
I think what Darren Cross was trying to do was just miniaturize Iron Man. He was like, "What if we got Iron Man but tiny?" And it's like, "Yeah, okay. What good would that do?" And it's like, I don't know. It just would be cool, right? Like, I guess so. I guess.
I I did appreciate how he wasn't like I want to wear the suit and do my evil deeds as tiny me or something like that, but his was like, yeah, you guys can wear the suit, just that I'm going to be the ones like you know, you have to come to power it and stuff. Like I thought that was a very good aspect of, villainy.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that was the only plus for me when it came to his character because a lot of it was really weak motivation, like what you were saying, like you could already like kill people if you want to do that. Like I get it. I guess less collateral damage was his whole thing, but it was just I don't know, kind of a weak motivation. And overall, uh, he was like just above par with, uh, or I guess right below, like where I would rank Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Like he was
Like-
probably he's the best. He's the what do you call it? I guess best modern day Lex Luthor we'll ever get. Because you know some little
He's bald.
squeaky kid is over in the DCEU right now, like trying to mump together the Injustice League or whatever.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Who knows what's going
I
on?
actually really like Darren Cross and how they made him competent and how he figured out the plan and how he wasn't really as dumb as some people make villains in movies. Like he figured it out. He was like, I knew all along your plan and who your ace in the sleeve was. And that to me was like, yes, okay, it kind of like proved his worth as a villain. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. Also, his death scream was on point. And also, I really love his, you mentioned it with his goop gun when he first used it, and he was washing his hands, but then he like looked up into the mirror and just stared. And you're like, this guy is totally losing it. His grip on reality, his, what is it? What did he say? The most powerful man on earth. If, nature transcends the laws of man, and I have transcended the laws of nature.
That was really good. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great line. That's a great line.
But
I thought it was a little unnecessary that they also introduced the whole like everyone wants to be like Hank Pym's kid, like hey, Hope is Hank's kid, and she like doesn't even want to be Hank's kid. And then you have these two guys like, I'm Hank's kid. No, I'm Hank's kid. Like, it was like the weirdest thing. I thought it was...
I beat my wife. None of you want to be my kid.
Yeah, yeah, his actual kid doesn't even want to be his kid. And like these two guys are what, like, I thought it was just a little over the top. Like, yeah, it could have been like just this mentor mentee thing, but it was just like, I don't know. It was a little over the top. Like, man, we really got to make it, why it comes down to these guys. I was like, I think it was just fine with, him being the one to dig up the Pym particle research and stuff like that. Like, that would have been enough. Like, we have to stop him. He really wants to do it. And the guy's like, of course I want to do it. It's profitable. Like, that could have been just fine.
Is Hank Pym the only superhero with a secret identity?
Oh,
not really, because of Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Oh, right.
Spider-Man. But that's funny.
This is like the first. Well, this is like the first movie that it's dropped that they have Spider-Man in the MCU.
What?
Spider-Man reference. Woo! When they reference Spider-Man
at the end.
Yeah, Spider-Man drop. Finally.
That drop wasn't anything. They didn't know if Sony.
It was everything.
So they didn't know if Sony was going to back out of the deal, so they
jumping on the hype train, the Thomas the train hype train.
It was like history in the making. What I was going to say though about the Darren Cross thing, because I agree that whole scene with him looking in the mirror was like really great and everything, and you understood that, oh whoa, he's going insane. But then what counteracted that for me, and I was like, why? Was when they were like, oh, it's the Pym particle, it makes you go crazy because you messed with it or something. And I'm like, what?
What's wrong?
Like, why isn't Paul Rudd losing his balls or whatever?
Because you have to have the special helmet, he said.
Yeah.
I thought he said that you have to be like pure or something. I don't know.
That's weird.
Thank God.
Only those pure of heart can shrink.
Yeah,
what?
Thank God it was a helmet.
Just kidding.
I don't know. It's still like they could have just lost that whole little bit or whatever.
I think they were just trying to say on why, like, he seemed very rational, but at the same time unhinged. Like all those like weird calls to Hope and like dinners with her. Like I was like, it kind of weirded me out. I felt like he was a very good villain and like a very good like, you know, realistic bad guy. Where it was just like, yeah, if this guy was, doing all this kind of stuff around me, I'd be like, dude, this guy's a freak.
Yeah. Well, I feel like his motives though were justified because he wanted to be not only noticed by Hank, but I feel like he did want to run, you know, the company. He wanted to be the head. He wanted to be like what you said, everybody answered to him. Um, so I mean, I kind of understand why he was already like kind of unhinged. It would have kind of been a little bit of a stretch, but I mean, we've seen it before in TV shows, and so it wouldn't have been any different. Um,
I was gonna say, speaking of kind of bad guys, I'm super stoked that what the you know all the guys creative team on this movie did. I totally thought they were gonna just paint the Paxton stepdad Paxton to be like this like you know uh not cool stepdad kind of scenario where it's just like Scott's the real dad or something like that, or like Scott's gonna like kick this guy to the curb and get back with the wife or something like that. But then it was like, no, that doesn't happen. It's the Paxton, the stepdad's pretty cool. He's fine, and like it's not, it wasn't, it didn't turn out to be that big a deal as like some cliches turn out to be with them. And so yeah, I thought that was a very forward thinking of
yeah,
the Ant-Man crew.
that was pretty cool. He was kind of carrying over his character from the other guys a little bit more, you know, altruistic, I guess you could say. But yeah, he was pretty funny.
Oh
But
They
no,
yeah,
should
I
have just,
did like. Oh,
that's in the
sorry.
same universe.
yeah, I was gonna say they should have just done that. He's like a cop and everything.
The other guys is really just a one shot that was turned into uh, a
And
full
entire
feature. But yeah, it was pretty cool that they didn't fall into any of the cliches like what you were saying, because that would have been very easy for them. Um, so yeah, I did appreciate that, and I
I
feel
mean,
like Cassandra didn't shun him completely. Like she sort of had affection for both of her uh, popses.
Yeah.
well, I was gonna say, if anything, Scott is probably the worst out of the two dads because he gave that horrible gift at her birthday party for her, and
It
he
wasn't a horrible gift. The kid freaking liked it.
no, he knows she's gonna love it because she loves him and doesn't want him to leave. But
No, he knows that she likes it because she's his daughter.
yeah, he hasn't seen in like over 4 years or something.
No, get out of here.
He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna run over to a gas station and pick up, out of my friend's dumpster this garbage item." And he's like, "Here, peanut, here you go." And then she's like, "Great, I hate this thing, but I also don't want my dad to leave. So I guess I'll pretend to like it."
Oh my gosh, you have such a dark view on that scene. It's not even that big a deal. Like the whole point is that it's just like that special bond that they share, and you're all like, freaking Scott's a, you know, crappy dad. Freaking probably pulled that out of a cigarette box or whatever. I don't know.
No doubt. I have no doubt in my mind. You just probably confirmed part of the history for me.
No, I'm saying that's what you're saying. It's fine. That's the whole point is that he bought this knowing that what his daughter finds interesting or
He,
likes.
I don't know. Based on everything else in the house and in her room, there was only one horrible, ugly item, and she's like,
Exactly.
I guess I'm going to associate this with my father who doesn't love me.
No, get out of here.
All right, let's move on from traumatic childhoods and beating wives, but also,
Seriously.
you know, for people that are getting offended by that, you do need to read a comic because it is in the comic books. Not what Steven's talking about, but anyway. Moving on. What else? What else, guys?
Evangeline Lilly.
She was a BA. She is definitely going to dethrone Widow. I'm hoping, because I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not a big fan of Scarlett Johansson. I've already made that clear in past videos. I'm sorry. And now I just saw her in a TV spot for Infinity War. It wasn't the best. She kind of ruined it. It ended with her. Anyway, sorry, getting off topic. But Evangeline Lilly, come on, dethrone her. She was awesome. I thought like all her fight scenes were really good. And yeah, go ahead, take it away.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think she really just blew it, blew it out of the water with her performance.
Blew it out of the anthill.
Sure, I guess that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I was first introduced to her character, I thought it was a little, again, I don't know if it's just unnecessary or something like that, but the weird hatred toward her dad and stuff like that, I wasn't like really behind. But then I was like, it kind of became more understandable as it was just like, oh, she doesn't like hate her dad. She just like doesn't agree with him all the time,
No, she said boarding school. You sent me to boarding school.
Yeah, because he was like crying over his dead wife.
Yeah, but she didn't see any of that. All she saw was him like being distant, and so she had to assume, that he didn't like care for her or like as much, and like decided to leave her.
She knew her mom died.
She didn't know how though.
Exactly. So you don't think that would hurt Hank Pym to not be able to tell her?
Yeah, but don't you think that I'm not dealing with the Hank Pym? I'm dealing with how she probably hated her father because he distanced himself from her.
Yeah,
and she can't understand why. It was the whole premise of that connection thing.
Yeah, I know. That's the whole thing. Is what I'm saying is it was a little, again, unnecessary. It was more of like, I disagree with you in you not telling me about my mom dying. I disagree with you choosing Scott to do the mission versus over me, like that. I thought that was fine. I didn't really understand the whole, like, I kick you out of your company and I like have a thing with your old student or whatever. And then turns out that guy's a whack job and I want to come back. Like, it was like the weirdest thing.
No, that's just called life. That's called making mistakes and learning from them.
But yeah, I mean, I took the whole boarding school thing is like, not only did he like, ship her away or whatever, like almost it seemed like it was affectionate in an unaffectionate manner, but also like because he lied to her. I think that's why I think in the back of her mind she probably knew that he was hiding something about her mom, and she just couldn't put the pieces together, because I mean she knew about the suit, right?
She knew about the suit because yeah, her mom probably told her.
No, I don't think so, because doesn't she find out along with Cross, like when they're looking at the research?
Yeah, probably.
Well, no, I thought she was just playing dumb though, because she didn't want Cross to get his hand. I don't know.
I guess when your house is full of ants, it's hard to hide that secret. Dad, why is our house full of ants? It's for my petting zoo.
Dad, my dorm friends are getting weirded out when you keep sending me letters via ants. What is going on?
Make sure you wear that coat, sweetie. I got you, that green one. Yeah, it's on your left. Dad, how do you know where my stuff is? You're not even in the same room. Ants, honey. I have ants with cameras everywhere. You're so weird.
I don't know. I try not to look into it too much because I feel like a lot of it was left kind of vague for a reason.
I now replace my original need for a old style Ant-Man in Vietnam kind of movie, and I instead want to replace it with Ant Dad and just like the adventures of having Hank Pym as like a crazy ant guy as your dad.
Give him the classic comic book looking Ant-Man helmet, like the weird one with the microphone, the boom mic up against his mouth. He's just a weirdo sitting on the couch. But yeah, I feel like it was left
And the
vague for a
microphone's
reason.
always on. Like, so he's just yelling full volume.
Get off the couch.
Hey, honey, do you want any sugar? Do you want any sugar in your tea? Dad, enough with the sugar. I'll make the ants do it. I can get it myself.
But ants, they can spin the spoon around. I mean, wait, hold on, wait, my microphone. They can spin the spoon around.
Hold on, my microphone was off. Let me turn it on so you can hear.
Oh my god.
Is that better, sweetheart?
Anyway, I feel like that was all left really vague for a reason, and that her hatred or whatever disagreements with her dad were all pretty justified.
I also kind of liked the Scott and Hope dynamic. Like, their romance wasn't, again, this movie doesn't really follow the same path, I feel like, as because I think people compare this to like a heist movie, like a bank robbery movie, kind of like that's what they compared it to. So it kind of doesn't follow that thing where it's like there's a touching scene between the two roles or something like that, and then they like a kiss at the end as like the whole like, you know, thing blows up or whatever and stuff like that. It was just, you know, they got caught making out one time or something like that. You know, like it didn't really, like, you know, it wasn't leading up to that.
I was gonna say it felt new too, like the relationship, like they were still working it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I really like that. Although it was never just a heist, and
it never was just a.
It was never just a heist. What crazy thing? Why did you have to delete the batteries with the whole ants? They're
blow
like,
it up.
And also blow everything up. What? No, we should just skip that. Tell everybody, pull the. I got an idea, Hank.
That's the Hank Vietnam flashback, and now we blow it up. Hank, come down.
Like that wasn't part of the original plans. He used the microphone to arrange the ants to blow everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. It seems like.
And then I bring my tank in. No, we don't have to bring the tank in.
Just in case, you never know. I told you, honey, never leave home without your tank. You have it, right? Yeah, Dad, I have it. Yeah, it's somewhere around. Good. It was your mother's tank. I was gonna say they could have just pulled the fire alarm and then exploded the building, and that was it. That's all they could have done. It's not like anybody was gonna shrink and get it, you know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
but yeah. Talking about what the doc said about what's her name, Lily, Miss Lily, Evangeline. She definitely is the new Black Widow. Only because I've seen the trailer for Ant-Man 2, and she looks amazing in that with what's their ponytail and everything, and her like total. Oh wait, you haven't seen it. I can't say it.
Oh yeah, I don't watch trailers.
There's just some cool. There's some cool action scenes with her in it, and it's like, get on her level, Black Widow.
Didn't she also pull like a Scarlett Johansson, where she also filmed a bit of this movie pregnant?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought she did.
I don't think so. She seemed to be. If she did, then like good on her, because she was in pretty top tip shape. Like, and that's what I was fixing to say is that her physique, I feel, also trumps Scarlett Johansson.
ScarJo. ScarJo.
Yeah, ScarJo. I feel like Evangeline Lilly is more believable as this, you know, BA type of fighter. And yeah, like Steven said, I can't wait to see all of her action in her new getup in Ant-Man 2. But even in this movie, like, I'm pretty sure, doesn't she do like the whole Black Widow move with the leg spin, twist, whatever.
Oh,
Around
what's
the
that
head.
called? Like it's like the Hurrah or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, she does that in this one, and I was like, snap.
What was that called?
But yeah, so if she was pregnant, geez,
She
that's
was
insane.
pregnant.
Well, I'm sure they had a stunt double. I mean, no offense. I'm not talking down to Evangeline Lilly's, feat of being able to do this
No, I know.
movie partially pregnant, but I'm just saying, yeah, okay.
But yeah,
Apparently,
she in that training scene, like her physique though, like she
Mhm.
had like
Her
shoulders
physique,
and
though.
everything. Yeah,
Her physique, though.
yeah.
apparently she was pregnant during she announced it like June 30th of 2015.
Interesting.
It is interesting how oddly specific you can get with these celebrity due dates and everything. It's a little awkward.
Wait, so when did this? Wait, so what? She was pregnant when?
June 30th, 2015, and this movie came out July 17th.
I have June 29th as the release date for this.
Oh, okay. Sorry. 24 hours off.
Well, no, I'm just saying because I'm trying to think of that. Oh wait, so she gave birth the 30th.
No, I think she announced she was pregnant.
Oh, that's kind of weird. So was she like, did she have the baby bump yet when she was filming like reshoots or whatever, or nothing?
Yeah, she had a little bit of a baby bump, they said.
Okay.
I don't think they didn't mention any reshoots though, so.
Well, there's always reshoots. I mean, a lot of people think reshoots are bad, but every movie has reshoots. And sometimes for good reason, because sometimes it's, something they're trying to keep low key on the DL, like probably the whole Falcon scene. I guarantee that was probably a reshoot because they wanted to film that last, so that way nobody would, snap pics of it or whatever.
No doubt. Can we talk about why Michael Douglas chose Scott in order to be Ant-Man? Because I really think it's because they have the same clothing size. How else do you explain that the Ant-Man suit fits Scott so perfectly, and then when he wakes up, he's like, whose pajamas are these? I'm like, yeah, whose pajamas are those, Hank? I'm looking at you. I think you chose him just because he fits the suit, and you didn't have time to go to a tailor.
Wait, didn't this movie though have the same type of technology as the Spider-Man suit? Like it kind of flopped off of him.
I don't think they show that.
Well,
It
didn't flop off of him, but I think when he was putting it on in the bathtub scene, didn't he like hit a button and it kind of tightened up?
No, definitely not.
No?
Mm-mm. We never really see a suit up scene. We just see him like putting on gloves in the prison, and we see him like undo the helmet a bunch of times.
I was gonna say that's the problem, is that there is no way that a grown man can get dressed in 10 seconds. I mean, you could probably do it after getting, in the morning when you have to leave early out of bed, and she's still asleep and you have to get ready real fast. 10 seconds though is a little pushing it.
What?
In order to be to get a leather suit on.
What are we talking about?
I don't even know.
Guys, when you have to leave a little late, you made a mistake, you got to rush back home.
I feel like you're trying to like tell us something, but
I think he's trying to really self-project on this movie. Before he was talking about gifts from father figures and like them walking out on you and getting you crap gifts, and now all of a sudden he's talking about like now he has issues on him walking out on people. Like, this is the weirdest thing ever.
It's cool. I like it. It's like a one-on-one with Steven. But then we're also talking about Ant-Man.
We're talking about it. We're getting it out. We're breaking down walls.
Yeah, break them down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go make some tea.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, that's what was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about the whole getting ready, suiting up. The suiting up parts in this movie were ridiculous, and I did not like them at all. They were like, "All right, Scott, get ready. You have 3 seconds." I'm like, "What? There's no way that this suit, like the doc says, unless it has a type of mechanism. If anything, it's probably like that Mr. Fantastic one where he like keeps all his insides together in a normal suit wise, and it has a bunch of like big springs. I didn't see that on the suit, but maybe there's something like that. The only
I
one
hope there's no springs. Dear God, please don't put springs on the suit.
I'm trying to see if there is one in this tiny little picture, and I don't see it. Maybe by the elbows.
No, it definitely looks like, if anything, like hydraulics or where the PEM particle pumps through like these veins.
But I'm just saying the only one that makes sense is the yellow jacket one in the helicopter, because I assume it's like Iron Man where you just kind of like lay into it and you're just like, I'm just gonna lay down and the
I
suit's
think,
wrap
I
around me.
mean, who knows? We've talked about it I think we've talked about it in each video. I'm pretty sure each video. But Kevin Feige, the master planner, I mean, who knows how early talks were going along with Sony, or yeah, how early they were coming along. Um, but maybe they had early concept art of Spider-Man suit, and they knew what they wanted to do with it, but they weren't too sure if they were going to get the rights, so they were like, hold off on it. So maybe we will see some type of similar technology, like in Ant-Man and the Wasp, where the suit just kind of uh, affixes itself to him, adjusts itself. I think that would be pretty cool, because then it would kind of bring. I like it when things come full circle, or when heroes, their suits are kind of
They go to the same tailor.
synonymous or whatever, for lack of a better word.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like that. Like, it's one big giant family. Let's they can share some technology. I think that's dope.
I think for all the times we've seen Iron Man suit up, we deserve another superhero suit up.
You mean like a different type of suit up, or?
No, like maybe a different time. I mean, nobody has the same suit like Iron Man. So I am saying, like, I I don't think Doctor Strange counts, and we've seen Spider Man before, but like an Ant Man or Captain America.
Technically, we see a Doctor Strange one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
that's
fixing
what
to
I'm
say,
saying.
don't say we didn't get a Doctor Strange one, but we'll talk about that when we get to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but I'm just wanting like an Ant Man suit up definitely in the second movie.
We'll definitely get one. We're gonna get two suit ups, if you know what I'm talking about. But what else? I feel like we're skipping a big thing, and I can't remember. And I don't mean like a Giant Man thing, because that doesn't come till our following movie.
Um, the Yellow Jacket Ant-Man fight is pretty big. I mean, it goes from a helicopter to like someone's house to Scott's house.
Yeah, and then I liked how when they were in the suitcase, that Cure song started like blasting, and it was like blazing because they're small, obviously, so the sound it was really great that they were able to like just think of all that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was awesome.
this was like almost we visited so many places in this villain fight scene. It reminded me of Thor 2 with Malekith.
Good
Wait,
one.
with Malekith?
Yeah, you know how they were like, it was because of the portals, and I was saying, Tim was saying that it was between the helicopter and the dude's house and the other dude's house. I
Oh,
said, I think
I
this makes sense.
guess, but we didn't really follow them through those portals.
Yeah. What's it? I was gonna say, oh man, I forgot. It was about we were talking about Ant-Man fighting. Hold on. Ah man. uh oh, what's it? I liked how we Ant-Man wasn't just um his arsenal kind of got expanded. He wasn't just a dude that kind of shrunk and then grew, But then Hank Pym was all like, you don't really have anything, so I made you like these cool shuriken things that like grow and shrink other things. You know, I was like, dude, this is awesome. I thought that was like a cool thing that like Ant-Man in the comics didn't have. And then now that I saw it, like how cool that was, I was like, whoa, what? Why aren't we doing that? That's awesome.
He has antarangs. Bam, son. Yeah, that was really cool. That's what we didn't talk. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Anthony.
Oh,
God,
that whole
was like
training montage.
It was like my whole little bit in the beginning. I was like, man, we're skipping something. What am I forgetting? Anthony. Jesus Christ. Rest in peace, Anthony. I'm sorry. I failed you.
Did anybody notice that Anthony was kind of like the aggro of Shadow of the Colossus game for PlayStation?
Oh my God. That is the dopest reference you have ever made, Steven.
Thank you.
I don't think you'll be able to top it, so you better just quit before you start. But you know,
thank you, everybody. It's been wonderful.
I mean, it does speak volumes when like you see Michael Douglas get shot, and you're like, oh no, old guy got a bullet, and then later on, Anthony gets one, and you're like, no, Anthony, and like,
yeah. I was really surprised too that Michael Douglas didn't die. Not because I didn't like him, like I really liked him, as Hank Pym and everything. We had already talked about that and like his importance to the story, but I feel like we already got faked out. They did the same thing with Nick Fury, so it was just kind of like redundant to repeat that again. So, and plus, he is an older Ant-Man, but I guess they want to wait till they can get his wife out.
Yeah, Hank was in Nam. He ain't going down by just bullet. He ain't gonna just go down like that.
I mean, he's old. He could have a heart attack. Who knows? I don't know his health condition. I'm not his doctor. Gotta get Stephen Strange up in here.
I was half expecting for like them to do a gag where it's like just Paul Rudd like punching Darren Cross over and over again. He's like, this is for like shooting Hank, and punches him. He's like, this is for like hurting Hope, and he's like, and this is for killing Anthony. Who? Because he like doesn't know who he's talking about.
Who are we talking about again?
What?
Who's Anthony? Great. You son of a bitch! He was my friend.
He was my brother. Who?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
You killed him, and now you're gonna die.
He did die. That was a messed up death, man. Out of all the deaths in MCU,
I'm expecting we're gonna get an Anthony Jr. or like an Antoine or Auntie. I don't know.
Hey, Auntie.
That was good. Oh, okay, you are topping yourself. I'm surprised, Steven. You're on a roll. All right, I gotta hand it to you.
I made notes.
I mean, if I was Doctor Strange, I couldn't hand it to you, but no, okay, that sucked. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That was bad.
All right, leave it to me. All right. When Scott went into the quantum realm,
microverse,
I don't know which one we wanted to call it. In the
quantum realm.
I was gonna say out of microverse and quantum realm, microverse is the one he can't say.
Shut up. Out of the microverse, when Scott came back from being so tiny that he couldn't shrink anymore to I don't know, life size, I would say, using just one of the enlarging boomerangs on his regulator. I'm like, don't you think he would have been a little shorter? Like, not like super short, but like a couple inches, and shouldn't like someone make a joke out of that? In such a comedy like movie, I feel like that joke wasn't used. Like when he comes out and then the stepdad cop comes up to him and be like, "Man, did you get a little bit shorter?" Be like, "Haha, did I? I didn't get shorter, did I?" Like, I just don't believe he was reverted back into his original size.
You didn't get that when how Ant-Man got back? His suit, the belt was set M for Mini when he had to set it W for Wombo, and then he got big again. That was the secret. he set it M for Mini, and then he messed with the belt and it set it to W for Wombo.
just stop.
He
stop.
womboed.
We really do gotta leave it to Steven tonight.
Womboed. Douglas.
If Ant-Man is SpongeBob, does that make Hank Pym Mr. Krabs because he's all about the formula?
God.
Take your fan fiction.
Oh my God.
Take your freaking crossover.
Hank Pym is Mr. Krabs. I need that formula, Scott. We can't let Darren get his hands on it.
Why did you slap your wife, Hank? The particles. Particles did it.
They better not do that.
Dude, she's gonna slap him. Oh my God, I just called it. She's gonna slap him when she comes out from the microverse.
Why would she slap him?
She's gonna like slap him because like, you know, she knew that he was gonna beat himself over, like blame himself, like he was gonna blame himself, and she's gonna slap him and be like, "Of course it wasn't. I would do it 20 times over again if I had to."
I was thinking that she's gonna slap him because he didn't have the balls to shrink into that missile, and she's gonna be like,
he couldn't have. His suit was messed up.
Whatever.
He messed with the regulator.
It was broken. The M and the W. He couldn't.
Tim.
Shut
up. Excuses. She was like, YOLO.
Yeah, that was a great scene. Even though we didn't get hurt at all, we still got, you know, kind of the character of Mrs. Ant-Man.
I still don't understand why we can't get a yellow Wasp costume though. Like this one was red. Now we're getting some weird blue one. I mean, I don't really care, but it is kind of weird. It's weird. It's not, you know, perturbing, but
it's understandable.
I was gonna say everybody knows that the first outfit isn't really the entire outfit. We'll get a new upgrade, just like Ant-Man got an upgrade in Civil War.
What's it? There was a lot of also Spider-Man 2 / Raimi Spider-Man references in this movie. You got a good train scene, a good train fight in this one.
Yep.
You get this your evil super bad guy with yellow eyes crashing through a bedroom to attack a family member to that of the protagonist. So, yeah. I'll see what you did, Ant-Man.
That's
borrowed from the great. What's that? Oh, and then it's based off of a bug, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I just noticed that on this picture of his suit, I guess there are like accordion rings or springs, I would say, on his sleeves and around his neck. So I guess that kind of mimics why he could be able to fit in that suit.
What are you talking about? What picture?
The picture I have up. Am I not screen sharing? The picture right here. I'm going to talk. Click on my screen. You see it?
No,
right on his arm.
No, it's fine. It's okay. I believe you.
I don't see anything.
Yeah. It's fine. Okay.
I think we lost him. Uh, well,
I
now,
think I
ladies and
think
gentlemen, the real show begins. I'm just
I was gonna I was gonna say this could be a janky segue into giving our final thoughts.
This one. Do you see it now?
No,
Oh my God. Have
you
you
haven't
even
been.
seen any of the photos I've been putting up?
Do you have Verizon? Is this why? Is that why?
I saw a Michael Pena picture.
All right. What are we doing? We're doing final thoughts.
Yeah, if we can do that.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
Uh, Jazz, do you want to go first for final thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go first. Um, Hold on. I'm actually changing my score. Yeah, I feel more confident about that. Okay. So, Ant-Man, it was actually like I actually had to do the same thing I did with Ultron. Had to rewatch this one a lot, and it is something that I appreciated more over time. Exact same thing with Age of Ultron. My first experience with this movie was more negative than positive, but again, with time, uh, I've come to appreciate it for what it is. It's a pretty darn good origin movie, and we also get, some veteran characters. We get the cool Falcon scene we talked about, and we get a lot of really cool and lovable supporting characters. We get Luis, we get Anthony, um, we get Hope, who's a very strong supporting character, uh, and Kurt and Dave. I mean, they were, his basically. I think they were more Luis's right hand guys, um, but yeah, a lot of memorable moments. We get that really cool post credit scene as well that leads straight into Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the villain for me was kind of weak, kind of really weak. I think that Corey did the best job he could with what he was given. It was a little bit of overacting on his part at some points, but I mean, I feel like he had to do that just because he wasn't given a lot, and the motive for this character was kind of weak. And they even tried to save it with the whole, oh, Pym particles making you go crazy and blah, blah, blah. I could have done without that because I feel like it was not only cramming too much into one thing, but it was just, yeah, trying to be this whole useless exposition or whatever that we didn't really need. But Hope was great. We talked about that. She's definitely she's on her way to dethroning ScarJo. It's gonna happen. But with all that said, I mean, I'm still on the fence with this movie. I think I'm gonna have to give it. I'm gonna have to give it a strong 4. 4 Infinity Stones out of 6. Um, I gave the first Guardians 4 gems, but that one was probably more of a soft 4. So, yeah, I'm feeling a strong. Like, this is pretty solid. This was pretty solid. I like it for what it is, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
So wait, what's the score?
4 out of 6.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
strong 4 out of 6.
Can't hear too good. All right.
I was gonna say, did you find a way to get the picture up?
So wait, you can't see anything I'm doing right now, right?
It might just be our screens that are messing up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
I
that's
guess
what's
we'll
going
find out.
on.
Yeah, okay. If anybody who doesn't see, I put a 4 on Ant-Man. The little pie graph went up to 4. So if anything, if we're having technical difficulties, then you'll see it next time.
Right.
You'll just look at it yourself.
Did you want to go next, Steven?
Yeah, I'll go
Oh,
next.
okay.
Wait, what? Is that cool?
Sorry. No, yeah, go.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to talk about it, I mean, that's fine. I don't have
Well,
that
yeah.
much to say.
It's a great film. Unlike, I really liked the Darren Cross from House of Cards. He was great in that. So I've already liked the character.
Isn't that actor's name Corey Stoll? Are you
Yeah,
calling him? Okay.
but Darren Cross is a way cooler name.
Yeah, it is.
Um, what was Cross Industries, right? The Cross particle and everything. He was naming it everything about
Yeah.
himself, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah. So I really liked the film. I really liked how different it was, especially how crazy we got with Guardians and how crazy we got with Age of Ultron. This one kind of honed it down. It kind of grounded it. Set it back to where the roots. I would say the roots of Marvel with an origin film. A lot of people complain that it's Iron Man because you get a. The only difference is that imagine Iron Man if it was he was just older and he had to find somebody else to be Iron Man. But we got the whole. Sorry.
So the only way this would be more like Iron Man is if Iron Man was more like Ant-Man.
I guess. I was gonna say it's just that we saw the weakness in in the Falcon fight and in the flashback of Hank Pym with his wife, and how we just saw like, oh, that's just that's how you're gonna defeat the bad guy, kind of like how in Iron Man, where you saw through his own mistakes how he was able to defeat Obadiah Stane with the freezing altitude.
Well, that's for the audience.
Yeah, and I'm saying that it's kind of like this one. I don't know, maybe.
I was gonna say it's not like they're gonna do that backpack scene and then he's gonna be fighting the bad guy and he's just gonna like shoot him in the head and he's gonna be like, "Yeah, the gun. The gun was the answer."
Anyways, so I really like the film. It was great. I'm gonna give it a. See, I'm looking at my other reviews between. Yeesh. I'm gonna give this one a. I don't know. It was just really funny though. It's like the only Marvel movie that made me laugh, other than like Guardians. I'll give it a 5 out of 5. A 5 out of 6. I'll give it a 5 out of 6. I'll do that. I can do that, right? I'm my own man.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know why you're asking. Are you asking permission or? Yes, you can do that.
Sweet. I can do it. Did you hear that? I can do it. I did it. All right, Tim, you can go ahead.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I agree a lot of points on with you guys. I can see with Chaz saying how what's it? What's his name? What did we say his name was?
Who?
Darren?
Yeah, Darren Cross. Sorry. I was like, Corey Cross? Stoll Darren? Darren Stoll? What's his name? Yeah, Darren Cross. His whole evil protege again thing with Hank, I feel like it was a little bit of simplistic and it kind of comes off as like a little flat. But again, I feel like this movie, I can see what Steven said, where he was like, this isn't really it counts as a superhero movie as much as it is a heist movie or like, its own thing. But I think it's a very easy film to get into. I feel like if I've tried to get, I know a lot of people that don't watch the Marvel movies, and yet I've had the least amount of our, what's it called? Resistance, and also the most positive reviews when I show them this movie. I feel like it's a very easy film to get into with their like a charming cast that it doesn't take itself too seriously, and because of that, it's all the better for it. It's super funny, very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, where you could pretty much laugh, all the way through it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can. It's a good movie. There's really not that many negatives about it, and because of that, I think 5 out of 6 is a fair score. It's not like necessarily one of my favorites because of the stakes not being that high. But I think, you couldn't really. I think they're as high as they can go given the circumstances, and them playing to that, it works.
Yeah,
no doubt.
All right. Five. I don't think there's another review kind of like this. The only one kind of like this one was Age of Ultron, where Tim gave it a 4 and the rest of us gave it a 5. So yep. Oh, and Iron Man.
Yeah.
Iron Man was like this. So same review as Iron Man and Age of Ultron. That's where Ant-Man kind of stacks up.
But real quick, hold on before we move on.
All right.
Sorry. Don't get me wrong, like, because I feel like I did focus too much on the villain, from what Tim was saying. Like, the villain, while it was kind of like a big thing for me.
He's the coolest Yellow Jacket we'll ever get.
Yeah, he was.
That's for darn sure.
And I don't, go to a movie and focus solely on the villain. Like, this movie did have a lot of heart, so don't get me wrong on that. But to your point of this movie being like because it was kind of like a heist film, but it was more of what you guys were saying, like it wasn't really a superhero film. It was just kind of this more laid back story about family, I guess you could say. And redemption. And for me, I don't know, I guess I am giving it somewhat of an unfair score because I think judging it off of my expectations of what I thought this movie was going to be. Not what I wanted this movie to be, but what I thought it was going to be. So yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to make that clear.
No, yeah, I think there are parts that rub people the wrong way, and just I had a different idea. I mean, I felt the same way when I was just like, I thought we would, do this, a different way, or I would rather want to see that, or, I thought again, the whole familial of, I want to be Hank's kid. I thought that was a little too much. I'm like, yeah, we get it. They have a relationship, and that's why they're all close and fight with each other or something like that. And yeah, so I think there are just some things that go a little bit, but it's not enough. I mean, to give this a bad score. I don't think I know anybody who doesn't like this movie, but I'm sure I'm going to be proven wrong in, of course, the next segment, the negative zone. Did that segue into it? I didn't.
Are we
I didn't.
It's weird.
I had him pull it up, and then I was like,
strange.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Set your belts to N for negative.
Okay.
I feel so negative. I just feel really negative right now, guys.
I totally thought that scene where he goes into the microverse. I was getting Interstellar, like, flashbacks.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, don't let me leave, Merv. Don't let me, Merv.
That's a good pop culture reference.
Don't let me leave, Cassie.
It was a little bit underwhelming for me. Like, yeah, it felt more like a music video, but whatever. Anyway, negative zone.
Well, yeah, throw some Skyfall music in there.
There you go. Oh my God, you nailed it.
Look at you, Tim, coming back Coming back from the grave of SpongeBob memes.
Or just put the Rick and Morty Moonman song.
Okay, Jesus. Ruined it. Get back in the corner.
Leave it to the professionals.
Well, I heard somebody said that during one of the worlds or dimensions that Scott was traveling through, that they saw the X-Men haven, Genosha. Gesundheit. Where it was kind of like all jungly and like Amazon. They're like, is that Geonasha? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Geonasha. So, what? No, yes, no. What do you guys think? Is that Kevin Feige for the?
I think that's crazy talk.
Okay, it's crazy talk. That's what I thought. I did hear from the homeless guy. You know, and he didn't even see Ant-Man yet, so he was just probably a negative zone member. Anyways, speaking of which, I'll get back on track here. I got one from Bob_Bear, Bob Bear, January 9th, 2016.
What's on your mind, Bobby Bear?
Bobby Bear. 1 out of 10. Deserves to be crushed under a shoe.
Ugh.
Yeah. Bobby Bear don't like. Okay, enough already. Another formulated load of old trap featuring boring, cocksure, dumb, and supposedly somehow charming hero blessed with superpowers he doesn't deserve, and boring us all to death through 2 turd hours of special effects and plot you could write on the back of a postage stamp. Iron Man, Green Lantern, anybody? This one thinks it's a bit of a comedy, except the lame jokes are signs posted about a mile away and deserves to be punctuated with a badoosh at the of a snare drum. Ant-Man, a lousy idea and a lousy film. 2 hours of my life I will never get back. And the threat at the end, Ant-Man will return. Don't bother. This just proves that Marvel can create a steaming pile of crap and prepare. People will still love it, just as Lil Wayne can rap about defecating on a toilet and make millions.
Whoa. Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, people do not like this movie at all, apparently.
Wow.
And, you know, it was a lull. It was a lull movie, but that's not the movie's fault that Marvel had to create like kind of a lull movie in between the hype.
Well,
I think it's. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, they kind of shot themselves in the foot though, because they. I'm pretty sure, like immediately after this movie was released, I don't think it was before. It might have been before, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not too good with history, even though it's not really history. It's just like 3 years ago. But they announced Civil War, so everybody was like, "Oh, Civil War, Civil War, Civil War, Civil War," and they kind of, forgot about Ant-Man.
Well, the same thing is happening right now with Infinity War and Ant-Man.
You guys remember when we thought Captain America 3 was going to be called Captain America Serpent Society?
I actually don't really remember that because...
Oh, really?
Serpent Society, like, I remember hearing rumblings about it. They were like, it's a working title.
I was going to say, I remember seeing them, like, show the logo for it. It was in not, like, it wasn't a real logo like the Civil War one was, but it was, like, shown along like the other ones where it was like Ant-Man in its font and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I remember that, but then it was immediately like revealed. They were like, "Oh yeah, remember this movie that we said we were working on or whatever?" And then like the title was changed or morphed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really remember like there being too much hype about it, Serpent Society. But anyway.
All right.
I think it's a little unfair that this dude Bob says like, "Oh no, it's the same stuff over again, like as Iron Man or Green Lantern of this undeserving person that gets powers." And I'm like, I think that's the whole point of a lot of superheroes, that they do come upon a power and they feel that they are undeserving because we as humans, again, don't get, like we are undeserving of anything that, you know, grants us above, you know, a higher seat in some, you know, situations than others. So I think that's like the whole point of superheroes, and like to him be all like, oh, it's the same thing over and over again. I'm like, yeah, but I think that's like that could be said about really any superhero.
Yeah, I think his problem is with superheroes, though, Tim.
Oh, you just don't like superhero movies?
Yeah, I don't think he likes superhero movies.
Oh, well, no one, we don't have to listen to him.
Okay. Then his opinion doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Bobby Bear.
Bobby Bear, go hibernate somewhere in a distant cave.
Bobby Bear, I'll turn you into a rug. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm calling him out.
I feel like this has been our darkest episode yet. There's just been a lot of brutality.
Yeah, this is
We're
started off talking about domestic violence.
Now we're threatening our negative zone members. All right, I got one last one from Sparky TB. Sparky TB. It's a 2 out of 10. The point at which I stopped watching this infantile product. I think all the people who've written a negative review of this movie because of its apparent scientific contradictions are missing the point. How can people who accept a man turning into a green monster or holes opening up in the sky and spitting out an army of hover bike riding space aliens criticize the science of this film? That's probably the worst case of diluted double standards I've ever witnessed. No, the real problem with this movie is just like any other MCU film. The thundering, dull, expository dialogue, the pandemonium characters, the cheap cinematography, the flat and stilted performances, the dramatically compromised script, and the infantile tone. And the most insulting aspect is that every single one of these cinematic atrocities spend vast amounts of its running time promising us even more of its trash is still to come. The problem with Disney and Marvel and the relentless machine they've created is that so much money has been made from this dross that actually making a good movie now seems to be nowhere near the top of their agenda. Another 175 million gets spent. It opens. Pimple-faced kids vomit out their cash for a couple of weeks. Then it goes to China, makes more. Numbers are counted. Our accountants smile. Disney smiles. Rinse and repeat. But nobody's making a good movie. And guess what? The studio doesn't care. They don't need to anymore. It's time to boycott this insanity. Life's too short, and there are so many good films out there that won't make you feel like you've been brain raped and just lost 2 perfectly good hours of your life. Disney, be warned. Your days of guaranteed return on these turds is imminent.
And then a year later, he was wrong.
Yeah. What an idiot.
A year later, he deleted his account.
This is crazy. This is like straight up.
Yeah, this guy, and you know what? It's kind of like the point of where a cute thing is starting to become annoying with these negative zone members. They're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, I can't imagine Ant-Man being the one that basically breaks this guy.
Yeah, and it does. Like, they're like, you got your Captain America's, fine. You got your Iron Man's. All right, fine. But then I think they expected it to end. I think they're like, that's it, right? You finished your story. And we're like, no, we haven't. We have like 75 years left to go to tell a story.
Yeah. I feel like one point, though, that he did bring up that was a good one was the cinematography, because I feel that
it's gotten down to like a formula, a science.
Well, no, that's just like a very important thing for me when it comes to movies, because even though I don't really know too much about the technicalities that go into cinematography, I can always tell. I guess you could call it like color grading, or I don't know what you call it, but I can always tell like if a movie is too similar to a TV show, like it should be like a TV movie or something like that. Not only by the way the shots are formed, but just by like the color grading, I guess. And I guess that plays into cinematography or something. But something like that, one of those film thingies. But yeah, I feel like Ant-Man did kind of lack in terms of cinematography. Whereas a movie like Man of Steel went way over the top. They were like way too
on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, on the other end of the spectrum, where they were like, "Ooh, this is a film. We need to make this, really film-like. We got to be up there with Nolan, whatever."
Oh, I was gonna say the only Marvel movie I think that I really appreciated the cinematography on was Thor, which I think it has a good setting for it to transition, whereas you're just on Earth versus now you're fighting in Asgard and kind of that stuff. Like, so you get to see that kind of scale change along with like, everybody else.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, this guy is crazy though, no doubt about it. This guy's got problems.
But this is crazy.
Yeah, that's all I got. The only other thing is that people did have problems with the quote unquote science of this film, and I chose this dude because he did touch on it. Like you can't try to make sense of the science of closing the atoms together and yet still accept gamma radiation can make you an immortalized rage monster.
I was kind of confused because at some points, I mean, I guess they did explain it a little bit when they were in that training scene with the punching. Like, if you punch too hard, you'll kill somebody. But if you punch too light, it doesn't do anything. Because it was kind of very weird how, like, some things kept their mass / weight and then other things didn't.
Like the tank?
Yeah, like the tank didn't. But then when, like, Ant-Man falls from the tub, he, like, cracks the tile.
Yeah. I mean, you could also just speculate or whatever, theorize, imagine, whatever you want to call it, that maybe PIM particles can somehow be programmed just like the cells or whatever in a plant are programmed to react a certain way. Like vines, will wrap around a certain way if they are stumbled by an object. So, I mean, I don't know, like maybe these particles can be programmed, whatever. Like, I'm just waiting for the day when these sort of useless debates or endless debates, whatever you want to call them, end, because I know that I've sort of contributed to the problem, but for me, it's more just conjecture, like talking about the science of movies or whatever. I never really go into it like in a negative way. I'm just like, oh, well,
basically, if it has Marvel in front of it, don't argue about the science.
Yeah, I mean, it really just needs to end because this is all like fiction, and you just got to accept it. I mean, at some point, you got to accept it. It's just a movie. Don't freak out. We're not trying to change your weird laws of thermonuclear dynamics, which don't exist. And that was from which Iron Man movie was that? Oh no, it was the first Avengers, right?
Yeah.
I'm a thermonuclear scientist or engineer or whatever. I was like, what? Everybody freaked out. I was like, calm down.
Since when did you become an expert on thermonuclear dynamics? What is it? Damn it.
Science, big nerdy words, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.
Astrophysics.
Yeah.
Thermonuclear astrophysics. I don't know if that's it. This just sounds good.
Do I do an outro music? I forget. Do I do an outro music when leaving the Nega Zone?
You could. You could right now.
All right. Which one? The ending or the...
No, not the ending.
Okay.
What?
You know what?
What number? How many episodes have we done this? How many?
We've done a lot. Okay, here we go. Boop, boop. You know what? I just realized that if I'm not screen sharing, they probably didn't even see that we were in the negative zone. So, whatever.
We got the music. That's why we got the music.
That's why we got the music. We always got a backup over here.
Bamalam.
All right. Yeah, I guess we wrap this up.
Another one in the bag.
Put it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When is it? Tomorrow? When is the 1st? No, Sunday's the 1st.
It's still a couple of days away from the 1st. We're the 28th right now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Sunday's the 1st. Oh my gosh. And then it is 26 days or 27, however you want to look at it.
It's 29 days right now, I think, right?
Yes, but Steven, I'm trying to make a point here, okay? In just 2 days, it'll be the 1st. I'm freaking out. I don't know about you guys. I'm freaking out.
I'm not freaking out until April 1st comes and goes, because I think that there is a slight possibility they're like, got you, we tricked you. Infinity War is going to be still in May. It's an April Fool's joke. Like an early April Fool's joke, and they'll tell us that it's a joke and move it back to the May 4th or May 3rd, or I already forgot the last day, but I'm not having my high hopes up until April 1st passes.
I am still holding on to the hope that they are still saving that May date for Avengers 4, and it's just going to go back to back. We're going back to back.
Oh my God.
And if they do that as an April Fool's and then take it away, I swear to God, I will be so pissed off. So for people listening to this, don't do that. Don't mess with me, all right? Don't play with me.
It's what they're gonna do as a joke is that they're gonna announce the cast for a Fantastic Four movie.
Oh no, that's even worse. You know what? No, I got it.
I'm just gonna stay off the internet, honestly. Sunday.
For the April Fools, they're going to have Deadpool come out and do a review of the Infinity War movie.
Oh my God.
This Sunday also is like one of the few days where April Fools and Easter falls on the same day, right?
Yeah.
That could be pretty funny. There's a joke in there somewhere about April Fools and Jesus, but I'll let somebody else do it. Yeah.
Huevos rancheros.
I don't think that was the joke I was expecting, but sure, that's fine.
All right. Where can they find your bad jokes at, Doc?
You can find my bad jokes prolifically. Is that a word? You can find them all on Instagram, exclusively, only on Instagram. I'm not on anything else. Twitter, it's too political, you know. So Instagram, yeah, at Dr. Cosmic. I told you guys I was going to be posting comic book stuff.
Dude,
and
you blew up.
And yeah, I blew it up, son. Dropped some comic knowledge. There's going to be more coming, of course, as we draw closer to Infinity War. There's going to be some gauntlets being thrown down. There's going to be a lot of stuff because I've been reading a ton. So if there's kind of a lull, it's because I'm still reading. I'm currently reading Vision. Is there a name for this story? Because on the cover, it's just The Vision. It's about his family.
It's his solo run. It's just The Vision, yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like, I wish there was a name for it. Because when I say The Vision, they're like, which one?
They will say, like, oh, that Vision.
Yeah. But yeah, reading that, and it is fantastic. I'm still tearing through it. Almost finished. Going to be posting about that probably. But yeah, also figure picks will be there. So there's that. All
right, Tim, how about you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Fishbone Malone. There we talk about figs, comics, and movies. I would definitely suggest though that if you liked Ant-Man and you're interested in finding out more about this character and having that kind of same tone that this movie had, I would definitely check out Ant-Man's solo run. Speaking of that, his most recent one. It's kind of him getting back into the game of things. You can swing by your local comic book shops and see if they have the most recent run of solo run of Ant-Man, and that'll get you started, and it'll get your get you fixed for that need for more Ant-Man.
Oh, the ant addiction. The ant is that a joke? No, it's not. God, that can't be the ending. Okay, I'll think of one. I'll think of one before we ended. You can find me at _nerdtron. I really gotta follow my fellow watchers' example by blowing up Instagram because I have not, and I apologize. I do, but it's hard, when you have a life and friends and social skills, rather than
that's what's holding you back.
Yep. So many friends. Oh,
that's not the way of the gram.
Wait. Did you mean lack of social skills or?
Anyway. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram. Also, the channel has its own Instagram, Watchers Week, right? That's the
that's the best way to know when we put up our most recent episode. We were having some technical difficulties before, but we're slowly getting back up. If you want to know, if you want to show your support for this channel, please subscribe or like a video to know, which ones are your favorites. If there's some that you don't like, or there's something in there that we don't like, please leave a dislike and, leave it all down in the comments.
Yeah. Tell us you hate us. We don't care.
Well, no, I mean, the point is that we do care.
Go ahead. I dare you. Smash that dislike button. I don't care. Unsubscribe. Whatever. Doesn't affect me. I have so many friends. You don't even know.
Okay. Oh, this is so great.
This is all right. I think I ended it pretty good. I didn't get a social media. I kind of did that kind of joke. All right. What's next week? Next week is
Civil War.
Civil War, the best.
The big one.
The next Avengers 2.5.
Phase 3. I mean, wait, yeah, 3.
Yeah, we're still phase 3. Are we phase 4 at all? When's phase 4?
No, we're in phase 2 right now. So we're going to be starting phase 3.
Ant-Man starts phase 3.
It's kind of in between.
Not really. I don't think that's how that works.
It's technically 2, but it's like, yeah, it's in limbo.
Technically 3.
Yeah,
all right.
Avengers and the phase, right? That's how it works.
Ant-Man starts a phase, yeah.
Ant-Man's no, because he didn't start phase 2.
No. I'm saying he starts phase 3.
Yeah, Ant-Man starts phase 2, but it always ends. The Avengers movie always ends a phase, right?
No, I don't think that's true either.
Oh,
that's what I thought. That's why I was confused. But I think it sounds like, yeah, it's phase 3.
You know what? We watched so many of them so many times. It doesn't even matter.
We don't.
If you just binge watch all of them at the same time, it's technically one phase.
Yeah, and that's what we hope you do when you keep on listening, and we'll keep on. Oh crap! How'd it go? I screwed it up. Damn it! I screwed it up. Damn it!
It's fine. Hey, it's gonna be okay. All right. Because all they need to do is tune in next week, keep listening, and we'll keep watching. And also, Anthony's in there in the Soul Stone. We're gonna get him out, everybody. We're coming for him. All right, he's coming back. Ant-Man and the Wasp.